guys, thanks for checking out this video. My name is Alex, aka TechOps, and today I'm going to be doing a PC review on this PC. It is a pre-built budget PC from iBUYPOWER. It was about $750, so I am calling it a budget PC. In this video I'll be talking about why I decided to go pre-built rather than building it myself. I'll also show the specs, some benchmarks, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and thanks for checking it out.
Alright guys, I'm going to jump right into the PC specs now. Of course, this is an iBUYPOWER PC. The case is a NZXT Phantom 240. The CPU is an AMD FX 6300. Now it's not the most powerful CPU, but it does have 6 cores, and if you like overclocking, it's a good overclocker. It does come with the AMD cooler on there, the stock cooler. I would not suggest trying to overclock with that thing. You might be able to get like 200 to 300 megahertz out of that, but I would not suggest it. I actually switched out the CPU fan and heatsink for the Cooler Master Hyper TX3. It's a great little cooler. It's really cheap. You can get it for like 20, maybe 25 bucks. So why not? The GPU in this is a MSI GTX 970. This is a custom PCB, so it does have its 4 gigabytes of VRAM. I know there was a huge VRAM issue when that card first came out. Yeah, thank you MSI. Thank you. The motherboard here is an MSI 760 GMA P34. It is an AM3 Plus socket. Great little mini ITX board, but then again, it's not really designed for overclocking, so just keep that in mind. RAM, one 8 gig stick of G.Skill memory at 1600 megahertz. The hard drive is a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1 terabyte. It should be plenty of room for all your games. I mean, I already have about 20 games on there, and yeah, I'm at like 750 gigs left. The power supply is a Allied D500 EXP power supply. Now, it is a generic power supply, but it should get the job done. I mean, as long as you're not like overvolting anything like crazy, should be just fine. And for the case fans, we have two 120mm case fans. One is LED, which is pretty nice. And last but certainly not least, we have an LG DVD burner. Alright, next we're going to be taking a look at the I/O shield. And now we're here on the I/O shield. First off at the top, we have two PS2 ports for your mouse and keyboard, of course, a VGA port, DVI-D port, 4 USB 2.0 ports, 2 USB 3.0 ports, which I was really happy to see that on here. There is a gigabyte LAN port, and you also have your line in, line out, and your mic port. Alright, now we're on the back of the graphics card, and we have a DVI-I and a DVI-D port. We also have HDMI and DisplayPort. And jumping over to the front of the case, we have a power button, a reset button, audio and mic ports, and we also have USB 3.0 ports, which is very nice. And I just wanted to add this in there. This actually came with the PC and I didn't know it was supposed to. This is your little wireless USB stick. I was actually able to get 4.4 megabytes per second out of the download speed. Now, of course, compared to my Ethernet 30 megabytes per second download speed, I just thought it was really nice that they added that in there, and I was not expecting it. Alright guys, now we're actually going to jump into the benchmarks. And I just want to say one thing before we continue. Some of these benchmarks really surprised me. This computer, for being $750, blew my mind when it came to games. I mean, it can run things just flawlessly, and you'll see in these FPS tests. Alright guys, for the first test, I ran OpenGL in Cinebench, and this will test your FPS. I'll show a little video and then give you the number. And as you can see, I got 56 frames per second on all 3 tests. Now for the second test that I ran was the rendering part of Cinebench, Now, as you can see, I didn't get great numbers here. I mean, 485, that's not great. So if you ever have to render anything, whether it be in Blender or some other kind of software, I would suggest using CUDA because it will probably be twice as fast if you use your actual GPU instead of the CPU. Now, for the third test that I ran 3D Mark Firestrike, and if you don't know what this is, you probably live under a rock. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, you should check it out. It is a great benchmark. As you can see up there, my score was 7,926. Now that was my total score, and it did actually get better than 63% of all results, so I thought that was pretty good. Alright, now into the game benchmarks. The first game I tested was Arma 3, and people might say this is a very poorly optimized game, and I'd agree, but it's actually just very CPU intensive. So if you don't have a good CPU, then you're probably not going to get great frames. But since I have this game, I decided, you know what, let's try it. I took off alpha to coverage, ambient occlusion, and anisotropic filtering. Now the reason why I took those off is because those are huge FPS hogs. Now I just wanted to see what I would get without those on. And as you can see, not very bad. I did run this test with the COF green firing drill, and it's just a little firing drill where you go into a firing range and you run around and you shoot targets. Now, it was on Stratus, the smallest map in Arma 3. As you can see, I didn't get the greatest FPS, but I mean, if you fidget with the settings a little bit, I bet you could get that up 15, 20 FPS more. But yeah, that's Arma 3. Now, the next game that I ran was Battlefield 4, and this was on Ultra preset. I didn't turn a single thing down. This ran buttery smooth. I mean, super smooth. Maybe it's because of the AMD CPU that I have, but I don't know. Perfect FPS, as you can see right there. And the third game that I ran was Dirt Rally. Now, this game is amazing. If you like racing games and you like simulators, this is the game for you. It is insanely realistic. Now, having 69 frames per second as your average, it was buttery smooth. I mean, you put on VSync on that, yeah, you might drop a few frames, but you'll probably be locked at 60, which is what everybody wants. So yeah, Dirt Rally, great game. Go check it out. And now we're going into our fourth game, which is Skyrim. Now, for Skyrim, I have two benchmarks. One is going to be the vanilla Skyrim on Ultra preset, and the second benchmark is going to be Skyrim on Ultra with a 2K texture pack. Now, that mod is amazing, so I just wanted to make them both, just so you guys can see what the difference between FPS is, because it's actually very minimal. So for this test, I just ran around in Whiterun, and I put on some commands where I could just run forever, and I just benched it, and benched it, and benched it, and benched it, and then I just added them. So what you see here is actually me just getting the average of all of those benches. And now you can see with the 2K textures pack, I mean, the FPS barely drops. I mean, barely. So if you're looking for a new mod to put into your Skyrim, this is the one for you. I mean, it makes everything just look great. Okay, so the last game that I benched was Tomb Raider, and this was on the Ultimate preset. Now, I mean, just looking at those numbers right there, you could put on VSync and you could run 60 frames no matter what. I mean, great numbers, great game, just runs flawlessly, just like Battlefield. So now it's time for my final thoughts on this PC and iBUYPOWER. Now, first of all, do I believe I got a good deal? Yes. 100% yes, I got a great deal. I mean, this PC performs very well. Especially at $750, it performed amazingly well. And secondly, I didn't actually go through iBUYPOWER's website. Now, you can go to iBUYPOWER.com and configure an entire computer exactly how you want it. And you can even add certain things that you won't be able to get if you actually go to a big box store. Now, that is what I did. I went to Best Buy and I actually purchased this PC off of their marketplace. Now, when you do that, the PC will be shipped straight to that store that's in your town or wherever you want, and then you'll just be able to go and pick it up. You won't have to pay for the shipping that is included when you actually configure a PC on their website. Now, with that said, you might be thinking, oh, I should just go to Best Buy and get one of these PCs. But if you do that and you don't configure a PC on their website, you will be missing out on free upgrades. I mean, one of the upgrades that they were actually doing was an upgrade for your power supply. I mean, that is huge. Another one they had was a free all-in-one liquid cooler. I mean, that's so much better than the Cooler Master TX3 that I just put on my PC. I mean, if I would have gone and configured something on their website, I would not have had to put that on there. I could have, put it on a different build or something like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is make sure you do your homework and just find out what's best for you. Now, when it came to the shipping of this PC, nothing was damaged, everything was perfectly fine, everything was in working order, nothing was dead on arrival, which I love. I mean, not having to send it back is huge. Everything has been working so great. I mean, I've had the PC for about 2 weeks now, and I mean, I'm loving it. So, yes, I would 100% recommend iBUYPOWER for 2 reasons actually. One, for the same price point, you can actually get better components than other companies out there. Not to name any names, but there are some out there for about $1,000 that give you a less powerful graphics card for $1,000. I mean, what is the point of that? And the second reason would be the support. Now, I haven't called the support since I actually got the PC, but before I picked it up from Best Buy, I had called the support to see exactly what kind of graphics card I was going to get. Now, their support guy that I talked to, he was like, I'm not exactly sure which kind goes in there. He wasn't sure what manufacturer, made the graphics card. So he actually hooked me up with a phone call to the sales rep for Best Buy. And that sales rep told me exactly what graphics card I was going to get. I mean, that's great support. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up my review on this iBUYPOWER PC. I gotta hit the hay. I mean, I've been up for way too long working on this review. Yeah guys, this was my very first YouTube video, first review. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Is there anything I need to work on? Is there anything you'd like to see? Is there any more benchmarks you'd like to see? I mean, I have a ton of games that I could just bench and bench and bench. I mean, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, if you guys liked it, you know what to do. If you disliked it, you probably know what to do there too. And if you want, subscribe, because I'll be uploading some more videos soon. And don't forget guys, you can always get a hold of me on Twitter, @TechOps. See you guys in the next one.